Hello and welcome to Unfiltered with Ella, your captivating platform where we discuss, analyze and find practical solutions to your everyday pressing concerns. Here you are given the podium to voice your opinion and contribute to the conversation. I'm Emanuela Okechukwu. So today we are analyzing a very stigmatized topic, depression. According to the World Health Organization, from our statistical analysis, depression affects approximately 280 million people worldwide, yet many misunderstand it. Depression knows no boundaries. It can affect anyone irrespective of the age, gender, or status, which is why this week we are uncovering what depression really is, its signs, and why this awareness is very crucial. Let's just listen to what people think about it.
I'm even experiencing it now. Even now, I'm under that depression. There's different reasons.
I had a cousin that actually died from depression, and he drank poison. It was crazy. My wife was having some kind of miscarriages, so it comes to a time I was distressed.
He invested so much in his girlfriend, invested a lot, and at the end of the day, she left him. So after all that, he went into depression.
An intense level of sadness, because there are levels to this thing called sadness.
Interesting, right? Some recognize depression as a real condition, while others see it as just sadness. To help us understand the dynamics of depression is Mr. Thangood Ocheho. He is the head of psychology department at NIM Foundation with over 14 years of expertise in research, mental health, and psychosocial support, which includes preventing violent extremism and development program management. His focus is on improving psychological and psychosocial well-being and reducing the risk of violent extremism through community-led, culturally appropriate programs. You're welcome to the show, Mr. Thangood Ocheho.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, Emanuela.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you. Mr. Thangood.
Yeah.
You, being in this, your position, I'm sure you've had several encounters with people with depression conditions and different mental health issues, right? So from your inclination, because most people know what depression is, but they don't understand it clearly. So I need you to give clarity on what depression is, please.
Yeah, thank you very much once again for the opportunity. Just like you mentioned, I know that mental health condition generally, not just depression, is really a misunderstood concept, especially in our climate, where we think mental health issues are mostly religious crises and not a public health crisis. So I understand that reality. And also the fact that when we talk about mental health, most times they are not visible illnesses, like when you're talking about physical illnesses, like headache, stomach ache, or maybe you have kidney issue, but most times this tends to be not so visible, so people don't really take it serious. But when we talk about depression specifically, I think is a mental health conditions that basically affect how people think, feel, as well as how they behave. So most time we see it's not sadness, it's quite different from sadness, because you can be sad and not be having any form of depression. But when that sadness continue and persist for like 2 weeks, then we can classify it as depression. So most time we say mental depression is a persistent sadness for that stays within an individual for at least a period of 2 weeks.
So do people who are depressed know they are depressed in most cases?
Some people don't know, and some people know. One of the reasons is because people are quite ignorant about it. People can be having depression, but they don't know. But what they do is that they interpret it from the perspective of physical symptom. So for instance, somebody can be having depression and be feeling chest pain, you understand, and which could be a sign of maybe anxiety, you understand, or let's say the person is having depression, is having headache, so the person is interpreting it or as headache, so he might say, maybe it's a symptom of malaria or typhoid or something, you understand, but it could be depression. But because the person doesn't know, you understand, have an understanding of what depression is, so most times they don't even look at it as depression.
Is this why it leads people to suicide? Because some people don't even know how they feel. They don't understand what they feel. They know their body is telling them something, but they can't interpret it. So
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you because suicide does not just happen. It's not a destination. It's a journey. That's when you see somebody that just commits suicide today, it's not that day that the problem started and he started to commit suicide. So depression, some form of depression comes in because of depression is a form of hopelessness. You understand? So when you don't see there's no hope again, you're in that form of despair, then you say, what am I living for? Then people decide to commit suicide. But even before the suicide attempt, there's what we call suicidal ideation, where people think about suicide. You understand? So thinking about suicide in itself is also a mental problem. You understand? Which people need to pay attention to. There's no normal person that will just say that will just utter a statement and say, I want to die.
If they don't understand how they are feeling based on being depressed, how do they try to stop themselves from committing this suicide?
So that is why it's always good for people to verbalize whatever they are experiencing, especially to trusted people, or you say a professional. You understand? There are people that you go and see, especially when people see mental health issue like depression as a religious problem, so they are quick to run to their religious leaders, you know, or traditional leaders. And because quite a number of them are not professionals, they will try to want to make you feel that you're under attack. You get, and once you are told that you're under attack, you're already captivated in your mind, because once that problem is not living, after all the prayer and everything you've done, you understand, you feel you've done everything, so there's nothing to live for anymore. If God cannot save you, who else will save you? So you have gone to that point where you feel this can only be God that can save me, and you have prayed and done everything, fasted, gone everywhere, and this illness still persists. Then you feel that if God cannot do it, then no man can do it. So why should I keep living my life and enjoy my life? So let me just take it.
Okay. How then do people recognize people who are depressed? Because, you know, depressed comes in different ways. Some people might be going to work, having fun, cheering up, but they are battling something in their closed doors. So how do you recognize people who are depressed?
Okay, I think part of the thing one can do is to always look at pattern, especially when you know this person. So if, for instance, Ella, you are my friend, and all of a sudden I know you are that lively type, and all of a sudden I just see you withdrawn. You know, you start losing interest in the thing you love. You know, I see that you are always isolating yourself. You are always sad, hopeless. Then I know something is definitely wrong, because I might not know I might not be seeing what you are going through in your inside, because depression is from within. I might not be seeing what you are going through in your inside, but I can make inference from your behavior, from what I'm seeing. Then I can make a conclusion. I don't need to make a conclusion that you are depressed, because that would be a wrong thing to do. I need to be able to diagnose you first, but at least that behavior can give me a clue for engagement, for interaction, to say, okay, let me engage Ella and see maybe there's something wrong with her. Then we can, you know, start a conversation.
What are the triggers for this depression? I know there are things that can trigger for different people, but what are the common triggers for?
Yeah, so there are, like you said, there are individual differences. What can make somebody to get into depression might not make another person to get into depression. And the foundational reason, or no, the factor to that is what we call resilience. There are people who have built their level of resilience, that when there are issues, traumatic events, they are able to withstand challenges. You understand why some traumatic event can throw them off balance and they just get into that depressive mode. So some of the triggers the main trigger is basically just traumatic events, maybe the death of a loved ones, financial instability, you know, unemployment, divorce, domestic violence, so many issues, abuse, and so on and so forth. So there are quite a number of issues
that can make
biological
triggers.
Yes, like there could be biological triggers, like hormonal changes for women, for instance. Why, for instance, a woman can get pregnant, and after a while did not go to give birth, there's what called postpartum depression. You understand? There could be, you know, hormonal changes. It could also be genetic, in the sense that, you know, run in history of some family, but what happens is that people are at risk of becoming depressed, because if it runs in your family, then you put yourself at risk, you know, of becoming depressed. So there could be some, you know, biological factors, you know, to that.
So is there a general treatment for this condition? Because of course some people would want to come out of it, but they don't know how to. So is there a general treatment that certain people can abide by to get better?
Yeah, I think one of the most effective is for people to always seek for the help of professionals. Very important. It's like when you're having headache, malaria, where do you go to first? You got to see a doctor.
Yeah.
You understand? So before we even talk about self-help, I think it's important for people to see mental problem as same as you having a physical health
Sickness.
issues, because the same way physical health issues can kill you, mental health problem can kill you. That's why people commit suicide.
True.
You understand? So people should learn to see professionals, you know, because when you see professionals, there are individual differences, like I said earlier on, so they can help you to be able to look at what kind of treatment can I give to you based on your reality. So it could be cognitive, there's what we call cognitive behavioral therapy, it could be interpersonal therapy, it could be just you do expressive therapy. Different form of therapy can be engaged, you know, for that individual. But like I said, I can't just give a general form of treatment to everyone, because you have to be able to see a professional can help you and let you know that this is the treatment that is best fit for you as a person. So, but generally there are things you can do by yourself if you want to do help yourself out of the treatment, because again, depression is in spectrum, just like in other mental health issues are in spectrum. It could be mild, you know, it could be moderate, severe, extremely severe. Most time why people is even afraid to seek for help is because of the stigma around it, and they look at people who have, you know, psychosis, which is a symptom. You get it. So this person is schizophrenic. When you start hallucinating, he's saying things he's not, you know, that doesn't exist. So people know that this is not the normal behavior right now. You get, so that is extreme case. You get, there are people that are good looking, wearing suit, happy, jovial, walking around, but they are going through depression. You understand? But because they are not telling you, oh, I can see somebody, and you are not seeing the person, you feel there's nothing wrong with them. You understand? Or maybe they are not in the street, naked, running mad. You say, oh, this person, you know, is normal. So there are a lot of people on suit, on nice dress, makeup, and every other thing who are going through depression. But I think like some of the basic things they can do, self-help, try to get support system, people that can encourage you, be around people that inspire you, people that are there for you, that encourage you.
Do you mind sharing an experience of someone who you probably have helped through overcoming this phase? Just a little encouragement for our viewers.
Yeah, I think I would just share a recent experience of someone who came for a session, was going through depression. Basically, I think it's a relationship issues. You know, the person dating, they were about to get married. All of a sudden, the guy isn't picking the call anymore, so she's not interested, and I think that destabilizes her, affected her so much. She was unable to concentrate on her job. You know, a big lady doing well, you know, start affecting her job, you know, unable to perform, start making so many mistakes, and all of that. So her mental health, you know, really was affected, you know. So came for a session. Basically, we had to be able to do series of sessions to be able to just help her gain balance. You understand? Because trust me, it's tough. You know, when somebody already have that high expectation, already seeing yourself getting married, imagining so many things, and all of a sudden such things happen. Much hope on things like but that. I'm happy that she's fine. I won't say she's 100% fine, right, but at least she's better than when she came in.
Oh, that's a very good news.
So
that's a very
so it's treatable. There are people who have gone out of it, you know, depression, and if you get the right help, I'm sure you will be able to go out of it. Just the same way you take drug, your doctor recommend drug, you take it and you feel better and you bounce back. So
thank you so much, Mr. Thango. Next week, the topic still remains depression. We would be having survivors with us on our next episode to share their stories, and hopefully this will impact on someone's life positively. I'm Emanuela Okechukwu. Bye for now.